Good afternoon and welcome to Liverpool Live. I'm Nafi Verensing.
And I'm Harriet Morphy-Morris with the latest news from across Merseyside.
Our top stories today. Storm Ciara has hit the city of Liverpool with strong winds and rain.
Residents of the Wirral have been donating to those in quarantine.
A Liverpool pub is now just as important as Buckingham Palace.
Flood warnings are in force across Merseyside as Storm Ciara continues to cause traffic chaos. And a man has died after being killed by a falling tree in Wilton Woods. Winds are expected to reach speeds of 50 miles an hour. Our reporter Rhianna Smith
spotted in New Brighton after unconfirmed reports of a rescue following severe flooding along the promenade. Rural Council have warned people to stay away from the area and confirmed that King's Parade and Coastal Drive have both been closed for safety reasons. The high waves and floods come as Storm Ciara goes into its third day. Winds reaching up to speeds of 80 miles per hour have caused significant disruption in Liverpool city centre. Crown Street remains closed after 13 solar panels were blown off the roof of the new Clatterbridge Cancer Centre on Monday. The council said that construction company Lang O'Rourke are monitoring the building 24/7. The road is expected to be closed until Thursday morning as repairs take place. Other building sites in the city have also faced disruption as workers have been told not to use scaffolding. Liverpool waterfront museums have reopened after closing due to the storm on the weekend, but winds are still high at the Albert Docks as waves continue to crash over the railings. Rhianna Smith, Liverpool Live.
Quarantine residents of Arrow Park Hospital are said to be struggling with the cabin fever. A community on the Wirral have been lifting the spirits on the residents since they arrived 12 days ago by creating a Facebook group. Our reporter Sophie Drew has more.
More than 1,300 people, mainly from the Wirral, have joined together to offer support and entertainment to those quarantined in Arrow Park Hospital.
I want people to be compassionate and be kind. It costs nothing and it makes the world a difference. So after we started the group up and then some of the people who were in quarantine joined the group, we could interact with them and ask them what it was that they actually needed.
93 people are currently in quarantine at the hospital. This includes children as young as 5 years old. Arrow Park has been named the official centre for coronavirus quarantine, and as the death toll reaches 1,000 people, there is no way of knowing when the hospital will be able to return to normality.
There was a lady, she couldn't sleep and she wanted some wool and knitting equipment. She'd left Wuhan and she'd not been able to get birthday presents for her granddaughters, so she wanted to knit them cardigans. So we got all of that stuff for her, and the message we got back was she cried. She was so overwhelmed at the kindness of the people on the Wirral who'd actually provided all this stuff, which is great, and now she's busy knitting away.
After 12 days of isolation, the Coronavirus Compassionate Facebook page has allowed the hospital's most secluded residents some much-needed interaction with the outside world.
Some of them have said to me that they're looking outside and they want to go out and go for a run because the park looks beautiful, and it's frustrating being stuck inside. So from that perspective, it must be really hard.
Once the residents have all been discharged, the group intend to keep up the positivity and get behind other causes in the region. This is Sophie Drew for Liverpool Life.
Our health correspondent Sophie Drew is here with us in the studio. Sophie, could you tell us some more details and more specifically about the alleged super spreader?
Yes, so it was announced this afternoon that the super spreader is actually called Steve Walsh. He's 53 and he's currently being quarantined in St Thomas Hospital in London, although he has now fully recovered. He issued a statement where he said, "I would like to thank the NHS for their help and care. Whilst I have fully recovered, my thoughts are with the others who have contracted coronavirus."
Of what, camera 3?
Now, he was linked to 4 out of the 8 cases of coronavirus in the UK, 5 cases in France and 1 case in Spain. But what's particularly interesting is that he didn't show symptoms for 2 whole weeks. We heard over the weekend about cabin fever setting in at Arrow Park and people wanting to leave. But it's so important they do stay for those full 14 days, as we can see in the case of Steve Walsh.
And it's thought that Storm Ciara has damaged Brize Norton. What's going to happen next?
So planes are now unable to fly into Brize Norton from Wuhan because Storm Ciara has destroyed the hangar there. It no longer has a roof. So they're now going to be flying into RAF Boscombe Down near Salisbury.
Thank you, Sophie. Across Merseyside, Chinese residents have fallen victims of discrimination due to increased panic over the coronavirus. Mayor Joe Anderson has visited Liverpool's Chinatown to show solidarity to the community.
Please come and support our Chinese community, restaurants and businesses in and around this particular patch, Nelson Street and Berry Street, to show solidarity and support. The coronavirus is not going to be given to you by the Chinese indigenous community here in the city of Liverpool. So please come and support them.
Liverpool's historic Philharmonic pub has been granted the same listed status as Buckingham Palace. Many people are aware of the marble-clad gents' toilet. Travel writer Bill Bryson declared there's no finer place for a pee than at the Philharmonic. It's now the first English Victorian pub to be made a Grade 1 listed building, putting it in the same bracket as Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral and St George's Hall.
And now we'll hand over to Adam Jackson-Wright for the sport.
Thanks, Harriet. The weights have been set today for the handicapped ahead of this year's Grand National. The favourite, Tiger Roll, is set to carry the top weight as he bids to become the first ever horse to win 3 years in a row. Alice Johnson has had an exclusive interview with Martin Greenwood.
Red Rum is only one of 2 horses to win the National, carrying a top weight of 11 stone 8 pounds, and the only horse to win it 3 times. They are members of the British Horse Racing Authority were at St George's Hall to set the weights for the runners in this year's National. Can you explain to a layman what is handicapping, how does it work and how is it decided?
In a brief sort of overview, handicapping is a process where we nullify ability by weight. So the very best horses carry the most weight and the least talented or less talented horses carry bottom weight or lower weights, hopefully to give everyone an equal chance in any given handicap.
What has been your greatest national highlight of all time?
This is only my second Grand National as a handicapper, but I've been a big fan of the race for years, and as a young child I watched the National, and a horse called Pill Garlic will always remain in my memory because I used to have a small bet on it via my dad, and he used to plod on for 4th place, and ever since then I've always been involved with the National.
What do crowds heading to Aintree have to look forward to this year?
I think the Aintree Festival is as good a festival as any in Ireland or England in any calendar year. The Grand National is the world's biggest steeplechase. It's Liverpool's race, which I think is very important. I think that it's a very big race for the locals. They support it very well. We just hope that all the horses set off, get round, and a great finish, and hopefully for me they all finish in a straight line.
Richie McLaren have got the lead over Seabass and Katie Walsh, Neptune Collonge and Daryl Jacob. They've got another 150 yards to go. Sunny Hillboy with Neptune Collonge on the outside, bearing down, racing towards the line. Sunny Hillboy and Neptune Collonge.
Casting a critical eye over proceedings was one of the few greys to snatch victory at Aintree, winning in 2012, carrying 11 stone 6. But this year's favourite Tiger Rolls may not race at all if the weights are set too high.
He comes up towards the winning line under Davy Russell to win his second Round Ox Health Grand National.
But if Tiger Rolls does run, it's certain that these two won't be catching him at the post. Alice Johnston, Liverpool Life.
Football now, and Liverpool are away at Norwich this weekend and we're looking to keep their unbeaten run intact. The players returned to training at Melwood yesterday following their winter break. Sadio Mane and Joel Matip were the notable returnees following knocks, and both could feature at Carrow Road on Saturday night. The Reds are currently 22 points clear at the top of the table. Finally, one of Liverpool's top football officials has been appointed assistant referee ahead of the Carabao Cup final in March. Ian Hussin has officiated many Premier League games, including the Manchester derby last month. That's all the sport for now. Back to you, Nafi.
And now for the weather. Storm Kira continues to cause mayhem across Merseyside. We go live with our reporter Rihanna Smith, who has more.
Thanks, Nafi. And as you can see, Storm Kira is very much still with us here. In Liverpool, we can expect winds today of up to 60 miles per hour. As you can see behind me, the waves are coming up and over the shore. Many people here have been caught out by them. There are expected hailstorms for this afternoon. Flood warnings have been issued for Hollylake, New Brighton and Warrington, so take care in those areas. Apart from the rest of the week, it's supposed to be slightly drizzly, but this storm is soon to end. Hopefully by tomorrow. Back to you in the nice warm studio, Nafi.
Thanks, Rihanna. We'll leave this here for you.
That's all for now. Thank you for watching. I'm Harriet Morphy-Morris.
And I'm Nafi Ransing. You can follow more news on www.jmujournalism.co.uk.
Goodbye.